Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel Untitled Projects. Thanks for clicking and coming through what's going on today. We've got an interesting day because we have the T-45 GOSHAWK, or the Boeing T-45 GOSHAWK, and it's pretty nice. It's from IndiaFoxtEcho, and we know that they produced the MB339, which was very well received because it's such a nice plane. And they've given us another really nice plane, and the T-45 GOSHAWK looks awesome. It flies well, and the cockpit looks pretty nice as well. So if you don't know this already, IndiaFoxtEcho have a pretty good heritage with these types of aircraft. We're talking subsonic aircraft, jets in particular, and they've also done something called the Long EZ, which is a weird little plane. Check it out. They also supply some pretty good models to FSX and P3D, so they know what they're doing. So we already have quite a few jets in Microsoft Flight Simulator. We've got the Eurofighter, we've got the F-15, we also have the G91, and of course the MB339. And there's a little bit of a difference between these jets, and the ones that are supposed to be going over 1,000 miles an hour don't really work that well because Microsoft Flight Simulator is well known to be subsonic, so this is going to work very well because it has a top speed of around 625 miles an hour or 543 knots. So I think we're good to go. So what about cost? It comes in at €30. It's a little bit more expensive than the MB339 that came in around 26, I think. And that comes in at $35 or £26. So it's not too bad, and it's a pretty comprehensive flight model. If you want to buy a real one, it's going to cost you $22 million, so it's your choice. And what do you get for your cash dollar? Well, you get a highly detailed exterior model, a highly detailed cockpit, including instructor seat. I'm not sure whether you can fly in the instructor seat. I hope so. I haven't been able to yet. Functional MDFs and a functional HUD. And the HUD looks pretty good. It kind of is a bit weird sometimes, but I think that's realism. What's known as a well-behaved modern flight model, and true-to-life checklists, which is always very useful when you're trying to learn these planes, and a great sound package. Now, there's a couple of things they're trying to get right, which they have admitted is a little bit buggy, and the SDK limitations is one. The HUD sometimes does some weird stuff when you're coming into land, which is probably going to kill you. And this model is definitely tuned to the modern flight model. Okay, so apart from that, we're going to do a little bit of history, and then we're going to do what we always do, which is we're going to do a cold and dark, take it up for a flight, see how it performs, do a landing on a carrier this time, so watch till the end, that's a good one. And we've got a carrier hook, so hopefully that's going to work. But let's start with a little brief history. In 1978, the US Navy formally commenced its search for a new jet trainer aircraft to serve as a single replacement for both its T-2 Buckeye and the A-4 Skyhawk trainers. They launched the VTX TS competition. Several companies submitted bids including Dornier, Lockheed and Dassault, but the Anglo-American team comprising British Aerospace and McDonnell Douglas was to be the final winner after submitting the Hawk. They'd previously collaborated on the Harrier II. In 1981, the two companies started work on the T-45 program. Production was split between the two partner companies, BAE producing the fuselage after the cockpit, the air inlets, vertical stabilizer and the wings. Boeing, an acquired subsidiary of McDonnell Douglas, manufactured the remaining components of the new named GOSHAWK and conducted the assembly of the aircraft at its facility in St. Louis, Missouri. The first power plant comprised of a Rolls-Royce Addon turbofan jet engine, but this was later replaced by the rival F124 turbofan engine due to production issues. On April 16, 1988, the first T-45A GOSHAWK conducted its maiden flight, and by all accounts was a success. And after further testing, the T-45 was introduced to training operations in 1991 and continued to be produced until 2009. Throughout its production, the GOSHAWK went through many variations, from basic two-seater analog cockpit design to improved avionics variations and carrier-capable designs. In total, 221 were produced, and as of today, the T-45 is to remain in service until 2035 or later. And if you want to go and see one in action, they're currently based at NAS Kingsville, Texas, and NAS Meridian, Mississippi. Right, back on the ground, and we are unfortunately not at the birthplace because I couldn't find where the airstrip was that this would have been used. I'm sure it's somewhere, I'm sure somebody knows. Drop it in the comments if you do know. We're actually at a little place called Kingsville, NAS, which is in Texas, which is one of the places where this aircraft does actually operate from still today. So yeah, and it's pretty big, it's pretty comprehensive. I've chosen a nice little corner over here where I've got my own hangar. I've got you know, everything I need in here, sandwiches and everything, and my personal tanker, so I'm pretty happy. But we're here to look at the aircraft, and as IndiaFoxtEcho always does, the graphics are pretty fantastic. So this is just, yeah, looks amazing. It's got all the right rivets, all the right bits of dirt in the right places, and it's got these lovely engine covers as well. So I actually do really like it when you can start cold and dark, and you can start by doing a walk around and, you know, essentially taking those covers off. So I like it like this. I like it in this state, and it's got the chocks and everything. So thanks, IndiaFoxtEcho. You've done a great job again. And apart from that, you really can't fault this model. The detail is right there, and just everything you'd want to know, everything you want to see. Really good. So definitely not Bredock 3D. Sorry about that. And there's our carrier hook at the back, which does function. So we're going to try that one out later and see if we can actually stop. So let's pop into the cockpit, have a look, and we're going to do a little cold and dark, and I'm going to take you through the pretty comprehensive checklist. But before we do a cold and dark, we'll just have a look at some of these graphics inside, and again, top marks. Whole thing looks really good, and that's coming just after the Spitfire, which was exceptional. So yeah, I mean, everything looks really nice. Obviously you've got weird little bugs like that, but that's just to do with your throttle and whatever joystick you're using, and I can't really fault it. It's got all the right patches in the right places and the metal chipping, and because it's not too much of an old aircraft, it looks pretty good. It's not totally buggered, so that's nice. Good detailing. I mean, really good detailing in all these small buttons. And I've just turned one on. That's probably going to kill me later. I'll go down in a fireball. But everything looks really good. Now, functionality-wise, I think, and I hope, that everything works. There's going to be a couple of in-ops. There always is. I never use navigation systems. I just like to fly for fun. I will maybe eventually if I have the time. But everything does work the way it should. Ooh, the fuel control switch, the classic pull up, pull down. And you can't really go wrong. So you've got your master armors switch as well, which is always fun. Here's your hook, just in case. And there it goes. Fun. Movement's great, as you would suspect with any IndiaFoxtEcho. Lovely sounds as well. Always that little bit of immersive stuff. Even that wire at the back of the joystick. Don't unplug it, you'll be screwed. Works very well. So very happy with that. Free and lovely movement. So going back into the checks, they are very comprehensive, and you're going to have to learn to do it by using the manual that they download with the aircraft as well, because these aren't going to point to what you need to switch on. But I kind of think it's a nice learning curve, so just get in it, have a look, learn it yourself. I'm going to do just a quick cold and dark because I ain't got time for this. So let's see what it's all about. In the cockpit, it's all pretty basic stuff. There's some pretty big ones. Interior check, massive, 38 items there. Pretty nice. Pre-start checks, master alert, all of that. Batteries on, and we're going to need to do that as well. And then we've got our engine start and our post-start and all of that. So there's a lot of things to do. I'm going to do pre-start checks, and I'm going to do engine start, and then I'm going to fly, because that's what I'm here to do. So first things first, if you started super cold and dark, the coldest and darkest you can get, there's a couple of things you're going to have to remove. And this is pretty immersive, I would say. We've got to remove this before flight so that we can activate our ejector seat. Same for the canopy, so we can blow the canopy off so we don't go through the glass like Goose did. Okay, first things first, battery, and they should be down here. We have battery on. There we go. And we've got a really quite annoying sound. That's because we've got all of these fails, but I'm going to turn off that master alarm. Now you can hear it spooling up, which is always very nice. And that means we can check our warnings and our cautions. So our canopy is definitely open. Our seat is done. Oil pressure, oxygen generator, all of these. Ooh, a fail. A failure. Damn it. And also, let's check our landing gear is green. We got 3 greens already. We can also check our fuel quantity. That should go up. And so we've got half fuel, which is 50%, obviously. Good maths. Which is always a Microsoft Flight Simulator standard. So if you want to fuel it up a little bit more, you can. You've just got to go into the settings for that. These should come on, and I'm not sure why they haven't. So I'm going to figure that one out as we go through. Next up, we've got parking brake, and so we have to check that we have our pressure. Our pressure is good. Let's just... I'm not going to move that because we'd be screwed if we did. So that looks like that is all good. I'm going to check the parking brake, and that is set. Released. Engaged. There we go. That's why we check these things. And now last item for the pre-flight, pre-startup check, I'm sorry. So make sure that this generator is off. And we are good. So we can start up now. And let's start with our anti-skid, which is also in the MB339. That's going to stop you from barreling left and right as you go down the runway. And the next thing we need to do is to get our anti-collision lighting on as well. So that is on the side both. And you know what? Landing lights, taxi. Let's do it anyway. Just make sure it's just a couple of clicks up. Oh, and that's about right. Right, so why did we get that master alarm? Simply because we didn't put the fuel control switch on. And then that should allow you to do the engine starter, but that's not working, so I'm having to use a key command. And there we go. And we can get the APU switch on as well. And then this goes mental. So a little bit of a bug there, but just kind of be expected, I guess. And there we go. Now we can hear that roar, that scream. And I think that's starting, unless we're going to get a master alarm again. No, we're golden. Right, so let's get rid of some of these. Let's turn on the generator. That should go off. Oxygen I'll do later because it's not real. You don't actually need oxygen. And let's turn on the HUD as well. So should be able to scroll that up. Okay, so that turns on. Let's put it on day. And maybe bring the brightness up a little bit. Oh, that's pretty good. We've got some good capabilities here. And I'm going to put on some of the interior lights as well, just because it makes things look super sexy. So let's get that on, and let's get that floodlight on as well. That works pretty nice. Oh, we got defog too. Yeah. Okay, we're in a pretty good place. Right, now we're going to do our oxygen, and that is down here. That's just going to get rid of that light. There we go. Obogs. And now we're good to go. We have no warnings. Right, so you had to turn these on manually. They're both on now. And you can pretty much do whatever you want. So, pretty useful. Let's check out that menu. There's your loads. Apparently it's got a gun. Bombs. Pretty good. So, I would like... There's your engine information. So that's always useful to have when you do your startup, so you can look at the temperature and everything. And apart from that, we can start taxiing, get to the end of the runway, and see how this baby performs. Right, we're at the end of the runway, and there's a couple of things that I cannot, for the life of me, find out. But if you do know this, put it in the comments. It's the rotate speed, which I think is about 150. I'm looking down here at some of the bigger increments, and they tend to show you your stall and your rotate speed on your airspeed indicator. So I'm assuming we can rotate at about 150 and we stall anywhere below 100. So that's what I'm going to work on. For now, I've got my engine information here and an artificial horizon. I'm just going to spool it up, see what happens. We've got a master alarm already, but that's because we have the parking brake on. Let's turn that off. Yeah, cool. All right. Let's have a look outside. So, we're just going to close the canopy. I was being a bit more like Maverick because I do what I want. And this is how you close the canopy. Reach up here. And it closes. A little bit weird, actually. That's very jittery. Anyway, let's take our parking brake off. And let's push it all the way up. And see if we can rotate at about a 150 or so. So we've got the anti-skid on. I'm just going to make sure that we don't go wild all over the place. It's always going to pull one way. These jets always do. The MB339 did exactly the same thing. We've just gone past 100. And this takes about 3,500 feet to take off. And here we go. So that feels about right. Let's get our gear up as well. Sounds good. Looks nice. This is a really nice addition, actually, to the old hangar. It's an absolute classic. Anyway, so let's get it up to a bit of height. This takes about 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes to get to its ceiling, which is 30,000 feet, and we'll go from there. So, a quick side note: you can see the HUD is very, very light and quite hard to see. So, if you're looking at it against clouds, it's almost impossible. And it's also going to change every time you move the aircraft. I don't know if that's a bug, because that was happening in some other aircraft as well, but it'd be great if this was a bit lighter. So all good. Anyway, let's we are still climbing. Very useful, this screen. We've got our airspeed and our height as well, so which we also have up here. Right, so let's see what the roll rate is like with the aileron roll. Slightly overdid it. Yeah, pretty good, pretty fast. Yeah, very stable. Now, one thing I have noticed about this aircraft is that it's not amazingly maneuverable. We're not talking, you know, the Raptor or anything along those lines. It just kind of turns at a pretty good rate. It's not crazy, it's not over the top, it's got a nice roll rate, but apart from that, it's not really designed for that type of capability. It's relatively maneuverable, but you're not going to be turning on a dime, that's for sure. So, final test of the day, the carrier takeoff and the carrier landing. And you're probably wondering, oh, where did you get a workable carrier from? And it's workable, because all the other carriers that are in Microsoft Flight Simulator at the moment, apart from this one, are just bits of land essentially made to look like a boat that you can land on, but they don't have the ability to engage the arrestor cables or have catapults. This has got a catapult. You can see there's a catapult there and there's a catapult there. So it is a bit of software. It's made by Hard Deck Simulations. Yeah, funny name, I know. And it's €15, unfortunately. So there is a bit of a cost involved in getting a carrier, but if you're really into carrier stuff, this is the perfect aircraft for it, because obviously the T-45 was designed for carrier landings and carrier takeoffs, so because it's a Navy aircraft. Spool out to 100%. Take off your parking brake, it's going to catapult you, but you're going to lift off just before the end, like now. Woo. Just made that. And let's get everything in and good to go. And now I'm just going to do a super long circuit and try and land on this thing with my tail hook out. Let's see if that works. Right, so approaching from absolutely miles away, which is what you got to do with these carrier landings, according to what I've read. So this is going to be an interesting one, and your approach speed is meant to be around 125. So we've got air brakes. Let's use them. And we're going to drop the gear as well. Let's get those air brakes off so I don't lose too much speed. One level of flaps. So it's really easy to come in too low on this, really easy. But you can get out of trouble if you really smash up that throttle in time. Let's, while we remember, get the arrestor hook. Okay, slightly off center. Let's lose a little bit more speed. Not too much. Oh. I'm going to do some flaps really, really close because I know I don't want to drop off the end. There we go. Some air brakes. This is going to be interesting. Yes, we actually did it. Oh, look at that. That was awesome. I survived. Well, I can review more aircraft now, which is brilliant for you guys and for my own pleasure. So I hope you enjoyed that one. If you do like it, give it a thumbs up. Really helps with the old YouTube algorithm. That's what everyone says. I think it does. Who knows? YouTube doesn't really care about us. No, they do. They do. So, yeah. And subscribe if you like it. There's going to be loads more of this stuff coming out. It seems like there's a lot of aircraft coming out at the moment. So let's get it going on. All right. Have a great day. Bye.